Hello and welcome back to the ESL Pro League. Thanks for waiting. It's match day number 16. We're about to get underway with OpTic and Cloud9. I'm told that the server has gone live, which means we'll be into it very, very shortly. But just before that, how do you think this is going? It's a 1-1?
I think it's a 1-1, yes. I'm going to say Cloud9 take Nuke and OpTic take Train.
All right, well, I'm going to be holding off on my prediction depending on which side starts on CT.
You asked me for a prediction and then you're like, oh, man, I'm not giving mine.
I have the power to throw you under the bus. You don't have the power to throw me under the bus.
I can try.
Bad luck. But yeah, look, I think definitely I'm backing OpTic to take Train. Nuke, I'm a little bit undecided on. I think that's a bit wishy-washy, but it depends on which side starts on CT for me. So we'll have to find that out when we get into the server.
Yeah, it'll depend. It's an interesting map, Nuke, given that it's so new. These teams, no one's really that sure how to play it, which is interesting. A lot of teams have an idea. It is starting to become more standard in the meta, but it still very much can be just an off pick for a lot of teams. They just think, we'll try and take this because we don't think our opponents will be ready for it. So, like you said, I think it's going to depend on that CT side start. Whoever gets that, if they can get themselves up towards double digits, get that start rolling. Basically, the thing with Nuke is the less you have to do on your T side, the better off you are. Yeah,
definitely. And pistol round's so important as well, particularly for those Ts. If they can get the pistol round, that's really, obviously, very, very helpful for them. But we're going to find out who will be starting on the CT side here and who's actually going to be winning the first map. So here it is, Nuke and OpTic starting on the CT side. So I think they're in a pretty good spot here, but we'll have to hold off and see whether or not Cloud9 has something for us in their back pockets. Coming in fresh, OpTic coming off the back of a two-match series against SK. So maybe there's something to be said for that, but we'll find out whether or not OpTic are going to be able to continue to play on to their maximum capacity throughout this match.
For now, Cloud9 just setting up on this T side. Starting off nice and slowly here, waiting for someone from OpTic to push them. I don't want to be caught out too early on if they can avoid it here. Cloud9, they want to get this side push underway with all 5 of their players alive, preferably getting a clean pick or 2 to get themselves started. But we do have a few grenades, which I've just used most of, towards the outside. It's actually Skadoodle playing the utility role this time. Had a flash and a smoke thrown out there, I think. And they're already actually moving to the outside as well. OpTic wrapping in early through the hut. Spots out Tarek going for the fight here as the rest of Cloud9 wraps in through the hut. And they've already started losing players. Jason R's found himself 2 in this pistol round to start us off. OpTic moving in, looking for the jewels with everyone in the server and can't find anything. Jason R on the side looking to do more damage here. Skadoodle does find 1, but Mixwell trades him out and Jason R still close, preventing this bomb plant from going down. And now it's only Shroud left all on his own. Does have the bomb.
They have not prevented the bomb plant from going down at all. As you can see, Shroud down on the B site. Has got the bomb down. It's 1 versus 3, so difficult task for him, but he might have just heard Jason R coming down through the vent, and they've completely walked past him. What can Shroud do from this position? He can get so much information, but he needs to hit the shots, and hasn't quite managed to do that. Mixwell has spotted him out, and oh, wow. That's unfortunate for Shroud. Good start, though, for OpTic. And you could have thought, well, that might have gone all wrong for them. Had Shroud maybe hit 1 or 2 shots. If he had been in there half a second earlier, they had maybe all lined up for him, but wasn't the case. And have a look at that. Mixwell straight out the bat with an AWP in round number 2.
Why not?
No funny business going on here.
Get a knife kill, might as well go for it. If Shroud could have hit that first headshot just the moment he peeked out, if it could have been a nice one-tap on Mixwell, he could have fallen back into vents, maybe moved over to decontamination, tried to play that one out a little bit, but as it was, he was stuck taking that first engagement. And Mixwell got the knife kill and managed to get this with it, so the AWP holding towards outers, this is not something Cloud9 might expect it. Usually a knife kill on the pistol is just used to give more money later in the game rather than immediately investing, but it's only pistols for Cloud9, so I severely doubt they'll be punishing Mixwell.
Yeah, definitely. OpTic would have known Cloud9 got the bomb down, so they can reasonably assume that Cloud9 is not going to be forcing into this round because they want the AKs next round. But yeah, even then, the AWP in this round, that's not worked out too nicely actually for OpTic. And so AWP's dropped. It should be relatively easily retrievable by OpTic, but they do need to actually win this round. And Cloud9 have got good map positioning now. They've got the first pick. Tarek, though, trading it back, taking down OpTic. He's going to be pressured, though, from all sides and answering it quite well as he finds 3. Nice eco frags for him. Just getting that aim on point again after maybe the little bit of a break that they had between the SK match and this one. So overall, things have gone fairly well as planned for OpTic. Obviously, they're going to want to upgrade that, or go and pick up the AWP, potentially upgrade the, I'd say, UMP into the AWP. Not sure where Jason R is at the moment, but he'd be the best pick to go and retrieve the AWP at this point. Are they even going to retrieve the AWP?
I don't think they can.
What?
Which, oh no, there we go. But they dropped off from us for it, okay.
I was going to say, that'd be a bit silly if they weren't.
Retrieving that AWP had to be priority number 1.
Yeah.
if you're going to invest in an AWP or knife kill, the number one thing you have to do before you even go for the retake is get that AWP. And they just leave someone, I'm guessing they just had someone in a position where they could rotate if they were needed, but could also grab that AWP, and they will get that thing back. Shroud, though, coming out with the SG, the classic COD gun maneuver, going for that scope, playing the outers. It can work. If he runs into Mixwell, maybe not, but he's got an advantage over the M4s here, potentially.
Potentially, and he's going to have a bit of a peek in, but at this point, not spotting out all that much. No one having too much of a present over on outers, apart from Mixwell peeking up from Catwalk. And he's actually taken down again, so that AWP not working too well on the outers area so far for OpTic, though they do get a couple of kills in response. Mixwell and Rush finding one apiece, and OpTic have answered well to the call that Cloud9 have given them. For the moment, Cloud9, I mean, they've got some decent map control over outers now, but what are they going to be able to do with it? Because they're a player down, and they don't have any control over either of the bomb sites, so they need to get in there. That's the key at the moment for them.
Still got a lot of time to play with, but if they're going to lose players here to Naf, it's not going to be the greatest of starts for them. Naf does get one before getting traded out. Skadoodle going to get the headshot on Tarek, so it's back into a 2-on-2 here. AK and 2 AKs for Cloud9 versus the M4 and the UMP of OpTic, but the OpTic players both have the HP and their advantage. There's a kit on Jason R as well, so they've got a little bit of extra time to play with in this retake, depending on where Cloud9 decide to go. And for now, it looks like they are going to be moving over, getting down secret, moving in towards that lower bomb site. With 35 seconds left, they do have time to do this. The question really is how long it's going to take OpTic to be able to figure it out.
Wow. Cloud9 have done a pretty good job of actually getting back into this round now. But they're going to have to deal with Jason R, who, by the looks of things, is holding from the ramp room. He's spotting in, hasn't seen anything, but he'll hear that glass shattering. That's going to give away Cloud9 are headed to the B bomb site. There's no time left for Cloud9 to play with. They have to make this work, and if the bomb does get dropped, that's essentially going to be round over. At this point, though, it looks like Skadoodle has managed to plant the bomb in the smoke. So he's lost a little bit of HP in doing so, but overall, at least getting that bomb down. And now Stewie's in a really, really good spot. He hasn't made any noise. They're not going to know that he's there. Jason R does go down. He gets Skadoodle, but this is looking really, really good for Stewie. He's
got a nice position here to play with, but Rush taps the bomb. If he'd held that, he could have had it because Stewie's not going to peek him and Rush. That's true, actually. He hasn't picked up the kit from Jason. Spots out the shoulder of Stewie, though, or the elbow, I should say, and gets that kill. So full 10-second defuse should be coming on through. Full investment from Cloud9 there, and they can't make it work. They get close. They get 4 out of the 5 kills. The AWP's dropped and is irretrievable as well. So that's something for Cloud9. They know the AWP is now gone, but there might be enough economy. Yeah, they've got plenty enough money. Jason R can buy one and drop one over. So the AWP is only a temporary removal from the OpTic.
The good thing, at least for Cloud9 here, is that they've got enough money to buy into pistol armor, so they can continue to force that economy down for OpTic Gaming. If they can take maybe 2 or 3 guns out of the hands of the CTs here, they've already started to put some pressure on OpTic Gaming, economically speaking. And when they do eventually get around, you'd have to think that OpTic may be in a difficult position in terms of the buy. So it's not been terrible for Cloud9. Even though they're down 3-0, they're still looking like they're in this one at the moment.
Mixwell's having a bit of a rough start at this one today. He hasn't really hit a shot yet. He's just been traded out the last few rounds he's played towards Heaven. This time, he's missed again, has fallen back though, so for now unpunished, apart from that little bit of health that he has lost, tagged down to 73. But he needs to start hitting his shots here. It's going to be a crucial thing for OpTic. If they can't have Mixwell firing up, then they have really very little long-range presence on the map. Mixwell here looks like he's about to get challenged by nothing. He's going to miss that one too. You've got to start hitting these Mixwell. You're going to be a big problem. OpTic going to try to adapt, and he hasn't spotted the player above him, and he will fall to the pistol of Shroud again. Mixwell just not able to get it done. Shroud finds a second one dig there. Rush trades him out. But a 3-on-3 here. Cloud9, regardless of everything else, they've done some damage.
Yeah, again, even if they don't win this round, which you'd have to expect, even at this point, OpTic Gaming are slightly favored given they've got the rifles. Again, as you said, Cloud9 are taking guns out of the hands of OpTic, forcing them to rebuy, and they wouldn't have expected to win this round. They come into this round thinking, okay, let's try and get 3 or 4 guns out of OpTic Gaming's hand. Let's try and get the bomb down. Let's try and make the economy work in our favor, because we're on the T side. It's going to make our life a lot easier, being on the T side a little bit cheaper. So OpTic really need to be doing a little bit better, I think, in these anti-ecos, and a lot of these gun rounds that they're giving up a lot of guns in. So Cloud9, for me, even though they're going to be down 4-0, one would think, they're still looking very, very good here. And I think at this point, probably for OpTic Gaming, I would just say to Mixwell, look, I mean, the AWP's not working, or he maybe is going to have to say that himself. Like, guys, I'm not getting the AWP working too well. Let's just try and go full rifle setup and see how that works. But I guess it's something that we're going to have to find out next round, because they're going to have to clutch out this round. Automatic now finding himself in a 1 versus 1. No HP to work with, but almost gets the kill under Rush there. It was so close, but still a very, very successful round for Cloud9. Pistols and armor only, and not even full armor on all of them. and they get 4 guns out of the hands of OpTic. They get the bomb down. Cloud9 should be able to buy into this round. OpTic Gaming will be able to buy, but look at the economy. It's not even really good enough for a proper buy. I'd be surprised if they take the AWP through here because they'll basically lose a bunch of utility if they do go for that. So I actually like this for Cloud9 still. I'm feeling as though Cloud9 is in the advantageous position right now, even though they're down 4-0.
I'd agree with you there. Cloud9, they're doing all the work at the moment. OpTic are just sitting back and scrambling to adapt. Shroud once again has the Krieg out, challenging at outers once again. Do have an AWP on Skadoodle as well, so he's going to be going for the first pick, but Shroud scoped in, playing the long range angles. OpTic could be caught out by this. They don't have an AWP of their own. They've had it on Mixwell a couple rounds, and he's had no impact with it. I'm not even sure he's hit a leg or anything. He might have, but I don't think so. So it's going to be all in the rifle setup once again. Jason on the UMP, like he has been, getting some money, being the bank for his team, dropping guns for the rest of the OpTic side. Shroud's going to have to check this corner. Mixwell is hiding in it. You have to be careful if Mixwell decides to peek this, as Shroud's looking straight past him, and Mixwell going to find an easy kill, and 2! That's
much
better.
That's much better from him, but with the rifle as opposed to the AWP, so things working a little bit nicer. And this is such a key round actually for OpTic Gaming, because if they did lose this one, their economy's reset. They can't buy next round, and that's when Cloud9 starts to come back into this. But if they can win this, if they can keep these 3 guns alive, they themselves will start to build up that economy on the CT side, and then it becomes a problem really for Cloud9. So hanging in the balance right now, but Cloud9 in trouble in this round. And at a certain point, yeah, okay, Cloud9 have been getting good rounds. They've been doing decent damage, but they haven't actually won any rounds. And now is kind of the point where you think, okay, well, they need to start winning some rounds, right? 5-0 down, that's time to start making an entrance for Cloud9. But at the moment, OpTic Gaming have gotten all of them. Again, another buy coming out from Cloud9, but at least OpTic Gaming, again, are going to be able to buy into this round. It'll probably be a bit of a better buy than what they had last round, given that they've got the full rifle set up. They've got a bit more utility by the looks of things as well. And OpTic just need to close this round out again, force Cloud9 back on the eco, and not lose too many guns, and then they're going to be sitting in a really sweet spot. But this is a change of pace from Cloud9 right out to the A-bomb site. They catch off 1 or 2, but they do themselves lose a couple of players. So Cloud9, even though they have control of the A site, it's not around foregone conclusion in their favor. Still though, it's looking okay. They should get the bomb down here safely.
And even if OpTic win this, they've been losing so many guns that their economy is just so severely limited. The most they had in this round was $1,000 or so. That's a beautiful shot from Shroud, starting to wake up here. And now Naf, coming in from heaven, needs to try and clutch this one out. Not going to be able to stop the bomb going down. He might just find the angle on Skadoodle, but he's been spotted out by Shroud, and Shroud's going to close it. Yep. Cloud9, after 5 rounds, will take their first round, and
reset the economy.
There's nothing on OpTic.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been losing so many players to all of these Cloud9 ecos or pistol rounds that they can't buy in this one. They're straight on the pistols.
You think, oh, well, we're 5-0 up, we're going to have a good economy, but no. Not the case here for OpTic, and they're going to actually force into this. So they really know that Cloud9 at the moment are not hugely impressive in terms of the cash department. Obviously, this round they've got a good buy, but the remaining funds in their bank is not looking that amazing. So I think OpTic here are going to try and continue to put pressure on Cloud9. If they can win this round, bring it back to 6-1. Again, that's going to force Cloud9 back onto what would be probably an eco or a force buy. But do you feel as though that's going to be the case? I mean, Cloud9 with full buy, they've already lost the first player, but it's not a great sort of a setup really for OpTic Gaming at this point.
Cloud9 just need to play this anti-eco better than OpTic have played theirs. They need to win this round without losing really any more than 1 more player. They need 3 guns up. They need that AWP as well. And Stewie peeking around. Well, they're now out of players. They can lose as Naf almost finds a second on Shroud, but Shroud will get that kill on just 23 HP. Be falling back as well. There's a UMP on Mixwell now too. There's 2 of those things up for OpTic Gaming, so they can try and do some damage with those. And for Jason R, he's basically on a full gun round again. He's been using a UMP for all but 2 rounds in this game, being the pistol and the last full rifle round they had. So he'll be pretty happy, pretty comfortable on that. Cloud9, though, in the 3-on-4, Shroud is tagged low. Skadoodle and nothing going to have to do the majority of the work here.
Definitely, and it's not looking that great for Cloud9 at the moment. They're still not sure where they want to go. Potentially looking like the A-bomb site, which is what they cracked open very, very easily last round. But Tarek forced down in the vents. Bit of Molotov in his direction. Jason R, though, holding the A-bomb site with ease. And it's all just nothing now. So this looks like it's going to be an anti-eco win. Well, yeah, an eco win really for OpTic Gaming. Force win, I suppose.
An anti-eco loss for Cloud9.
Exactly.
If we were back in 1.6, this is a clutch that 1.6, error nothing would win. He loved Nuke, he could wallbang everything, but in Go, I don't think it's as much his playground, and missing the headshot into a jumping Mixwell means his position is given up for free, has no time to work with, and is not going to be able to save. Tarek's going to come in, clean up the headshot.
Look at that as well. 3 guns upgraded, even 4 technically because the UMP comes through as well. So really good round for OpTic. Like, that's so much better than even their gun rounds that we've seen so far today. And basically, they're going to fully invest into this round. They don't really have the economy to buy next round, so they want to make sure that they get through this round without losing too much. But again, they're back in that good position. They're back in the driver's seat. Cloud9 sort of peeked their head up for a moment, but then OpTic Gaming sort of was like playing whack-a-mole and just bashed it straight back down.
But OpTic need to not lose a bunch of players in this round. We've seen their anti-ecos already. They've won them, but they've just lost so many players doing so. They need to not do that here. Their economy needs to stabilize, or they're going to have issues of the same again going forward. Every time they lose a round, they're just going to be back on pistols. But Rush going to start things off the right way, phoning the first kill. Mixwell, there's a nice little crouch B-hop there to get himself out under the garage door. Does strafe away. Jason R finding kills as well. This is better for OpTic. The pistol's being cleaned up.
Way better. And OpTic, they at this point are looking like they might be able to close this round out losing no guns. If they do lose a gun, then maybe they can trade out the UMP for whatever is dropped, or if the UMP is dropped, then all's well. But another thing I think to note here for OpTic Gaming is that Mixwell still, you know, he hasn't been doing much with that AWP. Hasn't been too challenged this round because he's had a bit of backup over on Outers. But that's, again, I feel as though at the moment, the best sort of a chance for Cloud9 is that they can go Outers, they can take down Mixwell, maybe with a nicely placed headshot from an AK or something like that, and start to take control of the map that way. But if OpTic Gaming is backing him up nicely, if he does start to get on a bit of a roll, then really there doesn't seem to be a weakness at the moment for OpTic.
All
Can't
of the
complain.
money.
Was he with the one? No, it was Mixwell that got the knife in the first round.
Yeah, Mixwell
But
getting the 1-on-3 against Shroud.
Still, 2 knives already for OpTic in this one.
Dollar bills.
Yeah, you got to be rolling in it at this point.
Yeah, that's the UMP. It's going to be kept by NAF. The drop could come in from Rush, but it's been working out for them. In the hands of Jason R, it's done very good work in these full gun rounds. It's been decent, so why not keep that thing, rack up a little bit of extra cash, and OpTic, that knife kill, it shows they've learned from their earlier mistakes. They don't want to have their economy just in the bin every time they lose. They'd love to be able to buy if they lose a round, and they could have so easily shot Scoodle there, but going for the knife kill, it's the extra little bit of money. It gives them a little bit more to play with here, and that's what they want.
Alrighty, well, looks like Cloud9 might be setting up for some sort of execute on Outers here, which I haven't really seen from them so much. At least tonight, they have been more so just running dry on Outers. They haven't been using too many utilities, maybe a couple of flashbangs and that kind of thing, but relying on their aim more so. And this time, they've got the wall of smokes. They've sent nothing down into secret. So he's kind of on the lurk at the moment for Cloud9. They're going to bust out on towards the A side, but really it comes down to what can nothing do, because we should see at least some trades coming out for Cloud9 on the A side, though that's not the case. OpTic shutting them down, in particular Rush, finding a couple. Shroud will get the bomb down, but this is not looking good again for Cloud9 and OpTic. They may be able to close this one out with 4 guns alive, and they will. So another round, another excellent round from OpTic Gaming, completely shutting out Cloud9. Admittedly, Cloud9 do get the bomb down, but at this point, I don't think OpTic Gaming cares too much about that. Their own economy is going to start really starting to ramp up now. They've gone, last round I think they had 4 alive. This round they've had 4 alive, and have a look at that. They're going to at least be able to afford another buy if they do lose a round here to Cloud9. But Cloud9 needs some rounds on the board right now, 8-1. Yes, it's the CT side of Nuke for OpTic Gaming, but it's already starting to work so well for them.
It is. On the T side of Nuke, you really want to get 5 rounds,
yeah,
6 rounds. 6 rounds would be ideal, but you're looking at the 4 or 5 mark is more realistic. That's what you want to get yourself started, because then you can go and do the same thing on the CT side that the other team did to you. But they've got to get themselves, Cloud9, they've got to get themselves to that point. They've only got 1. They need ideally 3 or 4 more. This round is not going to go their way, or it shouldn't go their way. OpTic, their early anti-ecos were sloppy. Their last one was much better. I assume this one will be similar, as now going to get heavily pressured, but Rush is there to back him up. The damage comes through from the 2 AK-47s, and 2 kills go the way of OpTic. Double smoke there, I think, as well. Actually, no, one of those was a HE, but this round's already looking better for them. So Cloud9, they're going to be down 9-1. They need a few more rounds here. They've got to figure out a way to do it.
Tarek should spot out Shroud here as well, just as the smoke blooms. He gets one, does get traded out by nothing, so a small consolation prize at least for Cloud9, but that gives away the information. They know exactly where these 2 remaining OpTic players are. Probably spotted the guy dropping into, or the bomb.
The bomb fell.
Rush just spotted out automatic as well. Easy kill for him. Just padding those stats a little bit. 3 kills on the eco, can't complain about that at all, and he's on 15 kills for the first half so far. So 15 out of 10. 1.5 kills around. Pretty good.
Especially on that 15 and 2 KD. That's pretty impressive from him. But
yeah,
the buy will be coming back out for Cloud9 here. They cannot afford an AWP, so Skadoodle will have to do without. And Shroud not going for the SG this time. Just going to be on the AK like the rest of his teammates. He's brought that thing out a few times previously, but had virtually no impact with it. And it's full rifles, with the exception of the AWP on Mixwell. And Mixwell needs to get some kills here. There should be a Cloud9 player jumping up on Silo by the looks of things. They've done it a few times previously. But whether or not he can hit that shot is going to be the difference maker. Tarek playing in under Silo, playing a bit of a crossfire position with Rush. Cloud9 going to have to be careful they don't just walk into this.
We'll have to be careful about everything at this point because it seems like everything that OpTic is doing is working. Mixwell, though, with the AWP in his hands again. See if he's going to be challenged. Where is he holding? Oh, he's rotating. I think he's actually... Is he on the A site or is he in B? Hard to say. So hard to say.
Classic mini-map on Nuke, but Rush is going to be able to hold off the rush of Cloud9. It's not even that, it's just one player. Automatic gets headshot. It's the end of him. Mixwell playing a close fence position, or the other side of the fence, I should say. It's not an easy position to AWP out of.
No, but not really a position that you would necessarily expect an AWPer to be in.
No, exactly. And it's a good one. You can hit your shots, that's fine. It's okay for that. The only problem with it is there is nowhere to fall back. You're just tucked into your corner. You have to take an even tighter angle and just hope you can hit the shot.
That's where you have to rely on your teammates, and he does have two other players on the A side, so Rush should be able to help him out. Jason R as well has been having a good time. Mixwell, he was just running across the map there, and he does go down, so Skadoodle or nothing, finding a killer piece.
Sure.
But it's not quite enough, really, again, for Cloud9. Two guns come through from OpTic, more than enough at this point. We'll see a pause coming out there as well. I have to only assume that that is going to be attack pause coming out from Cloud9 because they desperately need it right now. 10-1. And where do you go from here for Cloud9? Like, they changed up the pace in that one round and went very, very quickly. I think maybe that might be an option for them. Just go quick into A. See if they can maybe make that work because they've been playing slow. They've been getting picked off. When they have eventually hit a site, OpTic has been ready for it.
The other thing that they can really exploit is Mixwell. He's just not hitting his shots, really, with the AWP. He's just being caught out rotating. He's being headshot before he can get anything done. He even got Deagle killed a few times when Cloud9 were on the anti-eco. So there's not a lot that he's really been able to accomplish. So if they can figure out where Mixwell's playing, the way it's been going, it's a free kill every time. But the other issue is that Mixwell's been changing up his positions. We've seen him holding towards Garage, both inside Garage and outside there along the wall. He's been inside that last round. He was playing close at the opposite vent.
Yeah.
He's changing up his position. So while there is an opening there that Cloud9 can exploit, if he keeps moving, it's not as much of an issue. But still, for OpTic, they can't complain about too much being up 10-1. But if there's anything that they could change, Mixwell really needs to wake up.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the moment it's going along fine for OpTic Gaming, so you can give him a pass mark at this point. But yeah, maybe on the T side, they're going to need something to open things up, but that's still a while away here. We've still got 4 rounds going on. So 10-1 is the scoreline right now. Is Cloud9 trying to salvage something out of this first half? And yeah, they're on the T side, but they want a little bit more than just that single round that they've got right now. But generally speaking, tack pauses do result in maybe 1 or 2 rounds following. So let's see what Cloud9 has in the back pocket for us.
At the moment, it's a slow round again. We're talking maybe they should go fast A. They're not going to do anything fast this time. Just waiting around, trying to catch out someone from OpTic peeking. And that's the thing. OpTic, they don't really need to play aggressive right now. They can just sit back, hold their crossfires, wait for Cloud9 to push into them. As being up 9 rounds, OpTic, and wanting to get more, the impetus has to be on Cloud9. It has to come from them. They have to do something. Mixwell, again, has changed up his angle. This time just watching, going for the wallbang through the catwalk. Heavy utility usage towards the hut. An excellent shot from Jason R. Take down 1 player. That's automatic down. Shroud will trade out 1. Shroud doing work on the entry, gets 2, but the trade's starting to come in from OpTic. But it's all going in the favor of Cloud9 out of nowhere. And they'll pull off another round. Big kills. 2 for Stewie. 2 for Shroud, I should say. 1 for Stewie, 1 for Skadoodle, and 1 for nothing. Only automatic getting left out of the fun. But that was better from Cloud9. They push in a couple players together, and they just managed to isolate the entries, take the one-on-one, and get the kills.
Yeah, definitely. Jason R, really the only one putting up any defense on the A-bomb side in that round, and he has been a bit of a rock, getting kind of 1 or 2 kills every round here for OpTic, and looking pretty good. But Cloud9 very, very easily actually able to get into the A site there. So whatever they said, whatever they decided they wanted to do during that attack pause has worked out. But what they need to do here is follow it up with at least these last 2 rounds, because they allow the last 3 rounds here. Because if they allow the last couple of rounds here to go over to OpTic Gaming, 13-2, you know, their economy gets reset. They probably can't buy next round. Then they get a bit of a buy in the final round. It's obviously going to be going really, really nicely for OpTic. And even at this point, things are pretty good for OpTic. They'd, I think, want 1 more just to be feeling really comfortable about the first half, but 10 is probably enough.
Exactly, but they will want to try and capitalize on this if they can. And Cloud9 at this point need pretty much every single round as well as the pistol if they want to have a chance into this. Well, the pistol in the next half, that is. If they can get themselves 10-5, they can win the pistol, push themselves towards 6, maybe go further on their CT side, start to get that economy established. They'll be in a good spot, but Mixwell's played this spot twice now. He's changing up everything. Even when he's not AWPing, his rifling spots are changing up. And Cloud9 just can't figure it out. They do get the trade this time at least, but they're back in a 4-on-4. They've got to try and find something here, and they're pretty split up as well.
The good thing, though, is that they at least have a lot of control of outers, and so they've got a lot of options as to where they want to go. Automatic can peek into uppers here. Rush, I don't think Rush knows. Automatic, you know, that's not the kind of angle that you'd expect a T to be in. And Rush, if he peeks this one at the wrong time, he's going to go down, though he has spotted out Automatic, and that forces Automatic to fall back. It's a bit of a game of cat and mouse at the moment. Who's going to take the actual peek? Who's going to go for the duel? And at the moment, it's going the way of Cloud9. Rush, he only gets one before being traded out by Shroud, and Naf left alone. 1 versus 3. Not sure what the economy's like here for OpTic Gaming. I have to hazard a guess that they can afford a buy in the next round, even if Naf does go down.
Naf's on 1950.
He's going to be saving, yeah. He's on 1950, but I thought there was a couple of other guys with a bit more money.
There should be. But Cloud9, these rounds are looking better for them. They've been able to push in. They can take the kills. Having a look at the economy, yeah there's
not
nothing.
enough.
This is just going to be, this rifle is going to have to be the hero rifle in the next round for OpTic Gaming. But Cloud9, I'm liking what they're doing with these slower rounds. They're working in as a group, really. They are doing some splits in, but it's mostly just they walk into the A site, they go in, they isolate the one-on-ones, they take it slow, peek the angles one at a time, make sure everything is clear before moving on, and then they're just hitting their headshots. They're getting the entries through. Shroud got himself a 2K on the entry this round. He's been playing well. That's what they need to do. They need to just be able to walk into these sites and win their duels. But the question is it too little too late?
Maybe it is. They're going to have to eco out this round OpTic, so we won't expect too much from them. Oh, they're forcing into it. Okay. I would have thought they'd eco and go for a full buy next round, but
the buy's not bad.
Yeah, the buy's not bad, but it's not excellent. And if they do lose this one, the next buy that they're going to have is not going to be great either. So they're kind of banking on either get 2 rounds or they get no rounds.
Pretty much. That's basically the goal here for OpTic. And to be fair, no matter what happens, they're in a good spot. They're guaranteed at minimum 10 rounds in their CT side. That's par for the course, I would say, for CT on Nuke. You'd love more, but you also would be a bit unhappy with less. So 10, they're going to be all right with that. Of course, they would love to push this to 12 if they can, but they've still done enough to get themselves a good start on their T side. For Cloud9, they still got a lot of work to do. They need these last 2 rounds plus the pistols so they can start building back into this game, because right now, even though they have the better buy here, they're still a long way behind.
Yeah, definitely. OpTic Gaming, though, if they can close this out 12-3, I mean, that would just be basically curtains for Cloud9. Barring some sort of heroics in the second half, they'd absolutely need to win the pistol round at this point. Maybe they don't necessarily need to win the pistol round. They'd like to, but getting a bit ahead of ourselves at this point because Cloud9 are starting to barrel into the B site. They've actually gone down the ramp room, which is, I think, probably the first time that they've really put any sort of committed push in there. They did kind of explore it earlier on, but OpTic Gaming was able to hold them out of that area. This time, though, Cloud9 have got control of that, and all is up to Naf as they make their way onto the B site.
He's playing a bit of an interesting angle as well here at the bottom of the ramp, just looking for the headshot. Really wants someone to peek into him right now. We'll have teammates on the way, but Cloud9, they've given up on this. Jason R, though, does find a kill, and Skadoodle's got a player dropping on him. It's Mixwell with the UMP, who finds the headshot, and now it's a 3-on-2. Shroud and Stewie have to try and do something here. They have managed to move back up to the A side and get the bomb down, but they lost a lot of teammates in the doing so. Now they've got to try and hold off all 3 OpTic players coming in. Mixwell from the vents gives himself away with that HE coming up, but Tarek's coming in behind through the heart. I think actually all their players are coming from there, so they've got a crossfire here, Stewie and Shroud, but they've got to make it work.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of time to work with here for OpTic, and that's a great couple of shots coming out from both those C9 players. Now 1 versus 1 for Shroud and Naf. The grenade right at the feet of Naf, picking him up. Shroud clutching it out 1 versus 1, but really, really nice 2 versus 3 from Cloud9, and that's basically confirming almost that Cloud9 is going to be able to take this through to 5 on the T side, which would be a very, very good scoreline, even considering the point that they were at. But maybe OpTic Gaming has something up their sleeve. They did win 1 sort of forced buy already this half. Maybe they can do it again. And 11 would be definitely much better than 10.
3 UMPs and 2 5.7s to make it work with, though. Cloud9, they've got themselves the full rifles. This should be an okay round for them if they take it. If they play it slowly like they have been and win their entries, and just as a quick note as well, Shroud clutching on Nuke. That gives me some good nostalgia from older days before I even joined Cloud9. I don't know if you've seen that clip, but he wins a 1-on-5 on the A side, starting with a 5.7, I believe, upgrading to a rifle and just kills everyone.
I've probably seen the clip. I mean, I've seen a lot of clips. It's hard to remember them all.
Such is life as a caster. You
Oh,
watch
yeah.
many clips. But Cloud9, back in the present day, it's good to see that Shroud still has it in him. He's been doing well, actually, getting the entries onto the A side, but they're going to have to find some more heroes. There's 3 UMPs looking to do the damage, and all of them playing quite close angles as well. And this time, Shroud not going on the entry, waiting in behind to wait for this push from the ramp. Nothing in the meantime, going to take the first pick onto Mixwell, starting things off the right way for his team.
Yeah, it just seems as though OpTic is a little bit sort of eager to push in this round, and it's working out for them actually because they're taking control of lobby. Naf and Jason are finding a killer piece, and now they're going to have to try and probably retake the A-bomb site because Shroud seems to be coming in from outers. Nope, he's... Where's he gone? Oh, there he is.
He threw a Molotov on himself, so he had to run out.
Okay, that was a little bit interesting. But player advantage at the moment for OpTic. They've retrieved some guns as well for, well, 3 UMPs and an AK. Definitely workable with 30 seconds left here for Cloud9 in the first half. They need to take it through to 5, I think. 11's not going to be too easy of a task to chase down.
Jason with the UMP, though.
He's been a rock. He has absolutely been a rock on the A-bomb side, especially considering, as you said, he's with that UMP, more often than not, he's just been taking away the less than ideal weaponry. Shroud, though, doing a good job pushing. And it's now again a 1 versus 1, and again it's going to be Shroud to win it out. So Cloud9, they do manage to get 5 rounds in the first half. We have to find out whether it's going to be enough, though, in the second half, because 10, it's a good sort of a scoreline for OpTic. It's not amazing, and probably not where they would have wanted to have been at the end of this half.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. But either way, Cloud9, they brought something back. It was a 10-1 at one point, and they managed to bring it back in. It's better than it could have been. It's still not great, but it's better than it could have been. Shroud there getting a couple clutches at the end. I think they were both
1v1s.
Yeah, 1v1s eventually. So manages to get a couple clutches across the line. That's going to be good for Cloud9 if he can keep doing that. But now moving over onto the CT side. This is where they have to do the bulk of the work. They need to have an 11-4 half if they want to take this game out. And just 10 rounds, even to secure overtime, they need 10 rounds, which is a lot. But on the CT side, we just saw OpTic do it, so Cloud9 will be looking to step up and do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's entirely possible. They want to start off with the pistol round. I think that's obvious to say. But if they don't, then OpTic, you'd think, probably get to 13, maybe depending whether or not the bomb goes down, something like that, maybe only 12. But like it's obviously really a tough situation right now for Cloud9 because they need to start off so well and they need to continue so well. That's why it's so much easier to start on the CT side because you kind of have a bit of an easier time in the second half. You know how many rounds you need to get. But on the T side, when you start on the T side, like you know that you're maybe not your more difficult half because generally the T side is going to be more difficult, but the one where the pressure is going to be on you is going to be that second half.
The driving force has to come from the T side.
The driving force has to come from the CT side. So exactly.
Which, yeah, it's difficult starting off on the T because you need to get so many more rounds. Because as you said, on the CT side, if you can win 9, 10, 11 rounds, you think, great, we need 5, 4, however many rounds. You know exactly what you're aiming for. Whereas on the T side, it's a lot more open-ended. It's just, we need to try and win as many rounds as we can. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're playing against a team who is proficient on the CT side of Nuke, as indeed we've seen OpTic are, with the one exception being Mixwell, not having the greatest of days, but I think he might have had an operation, potentially on some painkillers or something like that. But either way, he's not having the greatest of starts. But it doesn't matter as the rest of his team are firing on all cylinders. And Jason worth noting him as well, has been playing. Yep. He's been playing really well. He is only a stand-in for OpTic. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps playing like this to see him become their new permanent fifth.
Well, potentially, but at the moment, we'll have to find out whether or not that's going to be the case. I think that Rush is the other one to mention for OpTic Gaming. He was playing very, very well, at least at the start of that first half. Kind of cooled down towards the end, but we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to fire up again here. And at the moment, it's 2 versus 3 for OpTic. 1 versus 3 now as Naf finds himself alone. And this is not the situation they would have wanted to find themselves in. They would have wanted to get that pistol round and really start to put some pressure on Cloud9 early on in the second half, but it's a bit more breathing room now for C9. OpTic didn't get the bomb down though. Do they force into it? Looks like they will. Tarek's gone for it at least.
But only pistols. So the buy not going to be great for them. Cloud9 now, they need to stabilize. They need to play this anti-eco cleanly. That's the thing. This is the problem that OpTic had early on, in that they could beat Cloud9 in the anti-ecos, and they did. But they lost a lot of guns doing so. So the moment they lost 1 round, 5 rounds in, I believe it was, they were just straight back onto the eco. Cloud9, they want to do better than that. They need to win these anti-ecos, and they need to win them with 3 or so players alive. They don't need to, well, they don't want to be losing a lot of guns going forward, because they're behind. And OpTic managed to get 10 rounds on the board, given that their economy was just in the bin to start off with. But Stewie going to find himself the first kill towards ramp, get himself a little bit of bonus money for the UMP, falls right back, throws a Molotov to cover himself off. Cloud9 taking no chances in this round.
Tarek, though, has found one onto Skadoodle, but he'll be traded out straight away by nothing. And overall, it does look like it should be fairly easily cleaned up by Cloud9, though Mixwell jumping headshot onto nothing. That's nice from him, and he'll be able to take a FAMAS here. Is he going to save it?
In a 2-on-3, he could potentially try and use it, but Nav's going to need to find something as well, whether that's a kill, whether that's a gun. He's got to figure out something to do. He's on his own with the bomb as well. Mixwell looks like he wants to move in for the flank, but he's got to move over and find Naf as well, as Naf firing those few deagle shots is giving away where he is.
Yeah, maybe just trying to draw a rotation from C9 that may get cut off by Mixwell or something like that, but right now, OpTic are the ones that are going to have to rotate themselves, and they do not have any time or much time to play with at all. Stewie spotting out. Mixwell does a bit of damage. Though automatic doesn't seem to be ready for that. There will be a trade out straight away from Shroud. That gives away his position. And now Naf knows where he is. If he had hit that shot, then there was game on. But right now, the timer just ticking away. He has to move so quickly and going to go right out into the B site and lands on top of Stewie. Not what he would have wanted. So overall, a good round for Cloud9. At least they take a couple of guns through. But OpTic, yeah, would have hoped for a little bit more, I think, there.
That said, though, Cloud9 still lose 3 guns. It's 3 players they have to rebuy on. This is what happened to OpTic on their CT side early on. They won the anti-ecos, but they lost guns, and when you have to rebuy guns, it just dents your economy. So Cloud9, they need some clean rounds here, and Shroud sticking with the pattern of buying the scoped rifles rather than the standard variations. Had a Krieg last half, this time he's gone for an AUG. First kill actually goes the way of a Molotov or an incendiary grenade, I should say, despite all that. Another one into the site to drop the bomb. Shroud tapping away, drops Jason R, and Naf's been spotted out. So the bomb does go down. Stewie's already on it. All of OpTic will fall. 1 gun is dropped. That's on Skadoodle, but doesn't really matter as the big guns will be saved. The M4 and the AUG, which actually got 2 kills, will stay alive.
All right, well, this is going to be the first buy from OpTic Gaming. They got the bomb down in the last round, so they are going to be able to pretty much fully invest into this one with the exception of the utilities for Mixwell and the head armor for Mixwell. But apart from that, they're looking pretty peachy. Cloud9, they'll be taking some guns through from last round, so a couple of FAMASs. Overall, I would say it's probably a bit of a better buy actually for OpTic, but in reality, it just comes down to who's going to aim better in this one. There's not much between the two sort of setups. And OpTic so far on the T side haven't been able to pick up a round. This is their best chance so far, though. And I think they need it as well, right?
They do. They've got to figure out something here, because if Cloud9 get this one, then this is an early buy. Well, not an early buy, a standard buy, 4th round, but it's a very full buy, full investment from the OpTic guys. So if they lose this one, they're going to be pretty much forcing, or well, it's unfortunate for Rush got to hit that jump, but their economy is going to be really not great. That Molotov does not go far enough from nothing. It will be extinguished by the smoke. So.
And a molly?
Yeah, an a molly, sure.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter though for OpTic, like they weren't even actually pushing through that. So this is like kind of a little bit of a fake at this point. They've maybe tried to make Cloud9 think that they've got someone into secret there, but their actual main force is still hanging around out as the Molotov goes in there from OpTic. Just to clear things out, and Tarek is going to walk right around, picks up an easy kill onto nothing, looks for a second onto Shroud, but doesn't even manage to really do all that much damage. So 4 versus 4 as the trades come out for Cloud9. As of yet, though, OpTic haven't really made any inroads into either of these bomb sites, and they've only got 35 seconds left to work with, so we are going to have to see a bit of an explosion sooner or later.
OpTic going to have to move quite quickly given how slowly they've started this one out, only finding 1 pick early on as well. You need to do more if you're going to play it this slowly, but now the push will be coming in, and Shroud up on top will be looking to get it done with the AUG, finds 1, and automatic lines him up with the FAMAS, finds himself 2, upgrades to an AK-47 for free as well. Cloud9 now in the 1 round behind.
Just a complete shutout there from Cloud9, and they are looking so very good on their CT side as well. Just goes to show what a change of sides can do. Cloud9, they were looking a little bit troubled in the early stages of the first half. The second half of the first half, God, that's a mouthful. They actually looked quite decent, you know, getting some rounds on the... Yeah, second quarter of the game, I suppose. But yeah, like Cloud9, they looked quite good in that late stages of the first half when they were on their T side. They got some rounds there. They've given themselves enough to play with here, and right now they are looking at ease on the CT side. They're not really being challenged too much by OpTic. Again, OpTic, though, going to have the economic problems. They will just be buying pistol and armor in this one. So last round, it obviously looked good for Cloud9, but there's still a couple of chances here for OpTic to get some guns in their hands before this game is over. And they need to make use of them. This round, though, it's not too bad. They've got 1 kill, but overall, you have to expect that Cloud9 should be able to pick up the win here. And I think that at the moment, Cloud9's actually looking a little bit better than what OpTic did on their CT side because they're being able to take a lot more guns through from their previous rounds. They're being a little bit more convincing in those early CT rounds. And OpTic, they're going to need to answer back shortly because time is running out.
It is, and Jason R does have full armor into this one, which he brought with him, and he's managed to steal that AK-47 as well. So if there's going to be any damage done by OpTic in this round, it's going to have to start with him. Pre-firing a couple corners to get out onto the lower side as well. Does have the bomb down there with him. So once he clears this out, he can potentially go for this plant, but there is players waiting for him. Stewie waiting in the back corner. Just going to give Jason all the space he needs to go out and plant that bomb. And in a 2-on-4, you don't need to be pressuring for these 1-on-1s. You can just let the bomb go down, wait until you have a confirmed lock on at least one of these players' locations, then you can go for this fight. And now Rush has fallen. Jason R going to be in the 1-on-4 with 20 seconds left. Needs to plant this bomb very, very soon. He's going to find a lot of players to do that. Stewie gives himself away. Shroud coming into the vents. Well, coming out of the vents, I should say. But Skadoodle coming in from ramp will be able to find the angle and the kill. Only one kill for OpTic in that round. They would have needed more.
Yeah, very, very similar to the previous round as well. Cloud9 just having such a good time on the CT side right now, but it will be equalized at 10 apiece. OpTic Gaming with the buy again into this round, looking still for their first round in the second half. So searching for a T round here. As of yet, Cloud9 really not giving them anything, not giving them much of a chance. So this is looking a bit dangerous now for OpTic Gaming. Right? When you see yourself at 10-10, you think, okay, well, the CT side favored from this point out because they should be getting more rounds. It's going to have to be a big effort, a big step up from OpTic Gaming on this T side. So far on the T side, they haven't shown us anything. Only had one gun round, admittedly.
But even though they've only had one, they still need to get something more done here. And they're taking a lot of damage from the Molotovs as well as they run through. They're getting straight down into Secret, Automatic, being pressured, drops a grenade to cover himself, goes for the spray, but Mixwell finds the shot, takes down Automatic. 5-on-4 already, OpTic. They've done better this time. They haven't lost a player. They managed to get the first kill. And this is how it happened for Cloud9 as well. They went down 5 and then won their first round. So potentially mirror image half here, but Cloud9, they're not done with this one yet. OpTic are wrapping all over this B side, but Stewie's going to find himself the first kill. Only one, though, and Nap on the late flank could potentially stop all of Cloud9, but Shroud with the AUG, he's been playing well with that thing. He's going to get himself one more kill into a 3-on-3 with the bomb down.
Jason and I are in a key position here as well as Shroud. Both those guys, if they can find a kill or two, and Shroud finds one on a mix, well, Skadoodle does take down Jason R, and it's, there you go, round over. Cloud9 are going to be able to pick that one up. Skadoodle's been doing pretty good work on the CT side with that AWP. Definitely had more impact so far than what we saw from Mixwell when he was on the CT side with the AWP, and that's a good early sign for Cloud9. Not only is he getting the shots early on in the round, he's also getting the shots on the retake. So this is really starting to shape up and look very, very nicely for Cloud9.
Look at the money as well. Stewie, before he bought there, had 12k. Shroud, given that he hasn't died in about 1,000 years, still has that AUG and still has 11k, doesn't need to rebuy.
23 and 11.
Yeah, he's playing very, very well. It's interesting that both of the guns that are really stepping up on the CT side have scopes, and they're not both sniper rifles. Normally it's a double AWP, maybe a DAC potentially if a team's really far ahead, but the AUG being this effective, Shroud just really feeling the scope weapons today. He had the SG out on the T side, didn't have as much effect with that, but the AUG, he's having a great time with it. As you said, 23 and 11.
Yeah, but in general, I mean, Cloud9 are having a great time on the CT side. Again, OpTic Gaming is going to be able to invest into this one. The T economy working nicely for them, but it's just not been working out too well for them. Like, they've been able to get into the sites, but they haven't been able to win any of the fights. And Shroud pushing this time. OpTic Gaming not ready for it. So Cloud9 changing up the CT side over and over, and giving themselves the most advantageous positions possible to be able to close this map out. And at the moment, it's not even looking like OpTic Gaming is going to win a round on the T side. Maybe that's a little bit premature to say something like that. There's still a lot of rounds here, but Cloud9 have just been really shutting them out.
Oh, Skadoodle. Beautiful shot there. Moves back over. I thought he was going to miss the movement onto Jason R. Misses the shot on Tarek, but that is a very difficult one to hit. Shroud, in the meantime, getting more work done with the AUG. Loving that, and Stewie, coming from underneath, gets the final kill on
Another
Tarek.
convincing round for Cloud9, 4 guns through. The economy,
with that.
Look at that, 14k, 15k almost for Shroud, over 10k for Stewie. It's, yeah, I mean, they'll get 13 here before OpTic Gaming gets another buy.
And Cloud9 here, they've achieved the dream of CT sides on Nuke.
Yeah.
Their economy is set. That's all they want. They do have a few players who are a little bit lower, but they've also still got some double digits in the money, I believe. So they're not bothered at all by this. Shroud continuing with the AUG, just doing great damage with it, which is interesting. It's not usually a gun that we see too much of in the pro meta. It's used occasionally. The SG is picked up on the T side a bit. Look at players like Magisk Boy. He takes that a few times over in Europe, but the AUG, we really don't see too much of. But Shroud, he's decided he's going to make it his own here as he's doing a lot of work with it. Skadoodle did find the first kill in this round. Could be caught out by a Deagle here, but falls back with just the right timing and takes up an alternate angle through the window.
Jason R does get one, but he's dropped relatively low right now. 19 HP. Still, I guess you would take that trade. It kills a kill. An OpTic. Oh, you would have heard automatic drop there, but he's going to push in. Nope, he's not going to push in. What's he going to do? He spots out Naf. Here's the squeaky door opening. Here's the footsteps. He knows he's being pressured right now by Tarek, and actually he goes down, but he gets a lot of decent damage out. So that's a good sign for Cloud9 at least.
All the OpTic players left are just so low.
Yeah.
There's the first kill coming in for Skadoodle. He can really do all of this with the CZ if he needs to, as there's just no HP on these OpTic guys. There we go. There's another one. Looks like he's listening to me. There you go. The 4K comes out for Skadoodle.
Yeah.
3 of those on the CZ. That's all you need to do, really. He doesn't even need to go for the sniper rifle in that situation. He knows they're all so low. His teammates have called the dinks, called the tags. He can just sit there with his pistol and rain hell, and indeed he has.
Shroud again surviving another round, so he's up to 26 and 11. I wonder how high he can go. And I'm going to say it before Cloud9 actually close this one out, because it does look like Cloud9 are going to be able to close this out. It may even be 16-10. Another buy, though, coming out from OpTic, and it's time for them to bash their head against the wall once more and see if they can break through the defense of Cloud9. OpTic starting off, though, with a good kill in that round. Mixwell finally getting something done with the AWP. But is it going to be enough here for OpTic to actually win the round? Because Cloud9, even when they've been at deficits, have still looked relatively good.
They have. They've been playing well, so the double AWP up, actually, on Skadoodle and Stewie, that's still in effect. That's still going to be here. Skadoodle going to find himself one, getting pressure from a lot of angles, trying to fall back right now, taking lots of damage from the AK of Rush there. And Rush now still trying to find this kill. Skadoodle has fallen back. He has a little bit of time to work with here to get himself into a better position, but his days, unless he can get some support, are numbered in this round, or his minutes, I should say. It's not really days in a round of Counter-Strike. Tarek, in the meantime, going to open up onto automatic. It's all the scopes now for Cloud9. 2 AWPs and 1 AUG to do the work, but that AUG on Shroud has been very effective in Skadoodle. He's relocated all the way into heaven, holding the angle on secret. Didn't spot the timing! That's really unfortunate. I thought he would have as well, but the vent blocks, or the vented catwalk blocks his movement, or blocks his vision, I should say, and now Stewie and Shroud have to try and clutch this 2-on-3 out. They've got a 2-on-3 before in this half, Cloud9, but they're going to need another one here if they want to stay flawless. And the bomb going down in the smoke.
Stewie is just walking around on the B site, and that's really actually very good for them, because I think they came in through that door, and they're not going to expect Stewie there. Can he deny the bomb plan? That's huge. That is absolutely huge. All he has to do now is survive.
Tarek, he broke the vents. There's an idea of where he is in the... Ooh, Tarek will get the 180 on just 4 HP and survive. So finally around for OpTic, but only just. That was so well played by Stewie there.
So well, yeah.
Denied the bomb plant. I mean, of course, Shroud just walking through a smoke, denying the bomb plant the first time. Stewie managing to deny it the second, and got so close to getting the kill on Tarek there. But on just 4 HP, Tarek finally puts one on the board for OpTic Gaming. Only 2 rounds behind now. The buy is going to be there. It's still not great. Shroud, he's finally died, but he's just bought another AUG again, because why not? He's got the money, might as well. He's been playing well with that thing. The double AWP was an experiment from the Cloud9. Will not be repeating in this round. They've still got one, though, on Skadoodle, and this setup has worked very well for them so far this half. Well,
let's see how many rounds OpTic is going to be able to put together here now, because if they do take down Cloud9, in the next round, Cloud9 probably going to be ecoing. They only had one player that was with any sort of cash to speak of, and that was Shroud, about 5k. So maybe they could go for pistol armor or something on the CT side, but definitely OpTic are in with a chance here to be able to equalize the scoreline and start to bring it back. Comes down to this round, though, very important one, for both of those teams.
We're going to be on this first pick, and that's an unfortunate one for Skadoodle to miss, but he will be able to fall back without taking damage, so not the worst thing in the grand scheme of things. Shroud up high. Potentially could have a lot of players coming his way, but Stewie now waiting over towards the ramp. Throws in a Molotov, doesn't want this rush to come his way without at least a little bit of damage already being done, or even a slowdown, potentially a halt care of that Molotov. But he's playing a bit of a headshot angle here. Smoke going to come out, has to relocate. Mixwell's holding the angle on him, though. He has to be very careful. It's a perfect flashbang. Spots a lot of feet there, I think. Can now fall all the way back into this B site. And the push is going to come. The rotate for Cloud9 is not quite here yet. They've got to try and figure out how they can reposition. Nothing. May have heard a lot of footsteps there, but on the whole, Cloud9 haven't really moved.
35 seconds left now, 25 actually on the clock, so OpTic need to get that bomb down relatively quickly. Stewie does take down Rush, but it's Jason R with the bomb, and he should be able to get this one down. Okay, he's getting tagged, but he does manage to plant it. And Tarek and Naf finding one apiece, brings it back to 3 versus 3 as Cloud9 are going to need to try and retake this, though. They've been fairly decent on those retakes so far, particularly the ones where they've had Skadoodle alive. But this time, Skadoodle is dead, no AWP on the field. Shroud, I think, is going to be the one to step up. Automatic, though, does spot one out. Shroud gets another, and there we go. It's round over. OpTic Gaming, their money is going to be reset. I don't know if they can afford to buy next round. I guess they have to, really.
Got to go for something.
What have they got? Oh, not enough. Not enough to buy, really.
So they've got to make a decision here. Do they force now, which is looks like they're doing, or do they play for overtime? Right now, it looks like they're going to have to just take this round as it is. Hopefully get the bomb down.
Saving.
They are. This round, they can maybe get the bomb down. That'd be best case scenario, get a little bit of extra money, but that's all they're going to get at this point. They've got one set of armor on Mixwell. He's got himself a Tech 9 as well. Just pistols for the rest of them. Jason are not buying anything. They are moving very, very quickly down the vents, but these Molotovs doing so much damage. Perfect Molotov placement. One inside the hut, one out the window. There is nowhere to go. The kill's already coming through. The bomb, the bomb's gone.
Gone. It's dead and gone. Cloud9.
Speaking of dead and gone.
Really good round for them. 15 on the board now. OpTic will at least be able to afford to buy into this one, but they have to try and take it to overtime now. And so far, only one round on their T side.
Cloud9 have won 10. I mean, it's exactly a mirror of the first half. We have 10-1 for OpTic in the first half. Now we have 10-1 for Cloud9. But because Cloud9 got enough done on their T side that when they came in here and showed this dominance on CT, it was enough, more than enough. They've got 4 match points to play with right now. They just need to not overextend here. If they move too quickly, they can potentially give away this round. They just need to not be rash, just relax. They've got the rounds to play with and just take this one out.
Yeah, no real reason to change things up at the moment for Cloud9. What they're doing is working. Automatic, he spots out one, gets a grenade in there as well. Won't do any damage with that, but favorable trade overall, at least for Cloud9. They get some damage across and they get some information as well. So OpTic playing again quite slowly this time. Obviously in the last round they were just on the pistols. They decided to go quickly. Clearly didn't work out for them, but they haven't really been too interested in playing super quickly so far on the T side anyway. They're just trying to feel things out a little bit. Have to think though, Cloud9 are in a good spot here. Full rifles, plus the AWP, full utility, full defuse kits, everything that they wanted. And the form, the aim is working quite nicely for Cloud9 tonight by the looks of things. Nothing, spotting out a couple more players there. And again, OpTic are letting this time a tick down relatively low. That's the bomb dropped by Automatic as well. He'll spot out Mixwell and actually wins that duel too.
360.
And yeah, that was sort of the 360 no-scope. I guess it's always a no-scope really with the AK, but hey, we'll give him credit for that. And Automatic, he's basically single-handedly won this round. 3 kills for him. Rush has been spotted out. There goes Shroud picking it up. So 16 and 11 is going to be the first map score. OpTic, they looked good on the first half, but when they moved over to the T side, Cloud9 started to pull ahead, and, well, you kind of have to expect that. CT side of Nuke proving to be supreme.
And fitting that Shroud closed it with the AUG as well, given that he had such a big impact with that thing. I'm not quite sure if he made it to 30 kills, but he must have been very, very close. And it's great to see him really stepping up and having the impact, because when you talk about Cloud9, or you see people talk about Cloud9, the common theme is always, they're a good team, but Shroud underperforms. And Shroud has been able to find his mark. But today, he found it. On the CT side especially, he's like, all right, guys, the AUG. Today, the AUG is my thing. Gonna make it work. And he did.
He did definitely make it work. He was super, super impactful. Everyone, it seemed to me, for Cloud9 was stepping up. I think nothing, he didn't really seem hugely impressive, but he didn't need to be. Skadoodle was doing well. Stewie had his rounds, but he wasn't particularly consistent either. I think it was really Automatic, Shroud, and Skadoodle for me that were doing the majority of the work there for Cloud9. Particularly on the CT side, I thought the AWP was working very well for Skadoodle. The clutches for Stewie, even though he maybe didn't get too many actually successful ones, he got that one which was very close. He was putting in impactful kills in the rounds where they had to get retakes, and then Shroud was just there doing his thing. So basically, it was all working very, very nicely for Cloud9. They do pick up the victory on Nuke. We'll head over to Train in just a second. We are going to go to a break, though, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back with map number 2 very, very soon.